dear fellow YouTubers. It is February 7th, 2017. We only come at you with the British accent when we are going to the European Union and talking about people like Nigel Farage.
And now we have our own Ted Malloch, who people say is the American Nigel Farage. I don't know a spot about him, or at least I didn't until I had begun researching him yesterday and today. And I guess he's the guy that Trump wants to pick to send to the European Union. However, he was a European architect and an insider, and he says that he wants to basically dismantle the entire EU.
And so they aren't exactly a fan of him coming in.
But Nigel Farage is, and I tend to trust his opinion. And this is a clip that Nigel put up on his Twitter.
Why do you want to be US ambassador to the EU? I mean, you're clearly not a great fan of Brussels or his bureaucrats like Jean-Claude Juncker.
Well, I had in a previous career a diplomatic post where I helped to bring down the Soviet Union. So maybe there's another union that needs a little taming.
Think of Mr. Juncker.
Well, Mr. Juncker was a very adequate mayor, I think, of some city in Luxembourg, and maybe he should go back and do that again.
Oh, this is clearly going to be a very diplomatic appointment when you get there. Will you keep in touch with us?
Just have a chat with Nigel Farage. He's in the same diplomatic corps.
This is going to be more fun than Washington.
I think so.
Why do you want to be
more
US
fun than
ambassador to
Washington?
the EU?
That was so funny.
I love it. He says, Ted Malloch is the boy.
That's what Nigel says about him.
Oh
So
my gosh,
let's go over to the RT over here. And let's hear what we have here.
A top story that the EU faces a new threat, and that's apparently Donald Trump's US. That warning comes from none other than the European Council's President Donald Tusk. Our Europe correspondent Peter Oliver has more then.
Trump's US is among the external threats to the EU, along with China, Russia and radical Islam. The EU must take spectacular steps to preserve the Union. Disintegration would leave European states dependent on the US, Russia and China.
He has laid out in no uncertain terms how he feels, saying that spectacular steps were needed, that there was a grave danger posed by Donald Trump, and that disintegration of the EU, would only put current EU countries into the hands of the United States, Russia and China. But why has he come out with this statement right now? Well, it all comes after the words of Ted Malloch. Now, he's Donald Trump's preferred candidate to be United States ambassador to the European Union. He said that Donald Trump doesn't like supranational organisations like the EU, that he's not a fan of bureaucracy, and he cracked this joke while speaking to British television.
I had in a previous career a diplomatic post where I helped to bring down the Soviet Union. So maybe there's another union that needs a little taming.
Well, Donald Tusk certainly not laughing at that joke. Somebody else who's not cracking a smile at the moment is Guy Verhofstadt. He's the chief Brexit negotiator. He's also come out and said that he's not happy with the way things are going in the United States. And he says that Donald Trump and his chief strategist Steve Bannon were actively trying to split apart the EU. He said that that was their main aim, that he listed them alongside major threats.
My impression is that we have a third front for the moment undermining the European Union, and it is Donald Trump who have joined them across the Atlantic. As you know, and you have seen yourself, Trump spoke very favorably of the fact that also other countries will want to break away from the European Union, and that he hoped for a disintegration of the European Union.
Now, the wheels of Brexit are already starting to get into motion, and it seems that it's having an effect on those in the higher echelons of the European the establishment. We've seen Verhofstadt speaking passionately there. We've also heard from Donald Tusk basically saying the sky is falling if Donald Trump gets his way. But what we are seeing, though, is a genuine fear amongst these at the higher levels of the EU that more member states could look to follow the United Kingdom in the future and say they don't want to be part of the club.
It appears so. Tusk also pointed out national egoism and the decline of faith in political integration within the EU. As per the European Studies professor Laszlo Marat, he says Trump's not undermining the union because the problems are from the inside of the union itself.
Internal problems of the European Union are really judged now to be a sense of urgency. So this has lacked so far in the analysis of European leaders. And I think if Donald Tusk is saying that there is a geopolitical problem, there are internal problems, and the pro-European elite is not actively fighting for the survival of Europe, I think then the problems are judged to be very serious in Brussels. And I think that's independent of the United States position.
So I think a lot of you that here in the U.S. might be asking, Leah, Michelle, why are you guys talking about all this stuff that's going on? Trump has been saying America first, America first. Why aren't you focusing on American policies and American issues that are happening right now? I have to tell you that there is a one world government, an agenda, new world order to inculcate everything, all countries into this one world government, and that's where we were headed. Had Hillary Clinton been elected, that's exactly where it would have been.
Right into one world government.
Exactly. Now, just because Hillary Clinton was not elected does not mean that there is still a powerful force pushing for that direction. Now, Donald Trump is one man. He's only one man pushing against that massive Titanic type force to push the United States and every other country to a one world government. And so it's very important and vital that we bring you guys these issues as to what is going on in the
other
European
pushes
Union.
that are pushing French, Marie Le Pen. I would like to bring you some of her things too.
In a little bit, yeah.
And you've got the Nigel Farage movement and the Brexit and England, and so these are all pushes against the one world government. We all have to kind of
get behind
here, guys,
or hold Moses' arms up or
guy
something.
In the Netherlands and Holland, I mean, he has come out strong against the immigration, and the number one tool of the globalist is it's basically, you can call them a one world new. If I believed in reincarnation. There would be a reincarnation of the slave trade. And the idea is that it's been a couple hundred years since the slave trade. By the way, thank you, England, for
paving the way.
Amazing Grace there. What's the guy's on the tip of my tongue? What's his name? 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 I'm going to have to Google it. William Wilberforce. I was on the tip of my tongue. William Wilberforce. Thank you for him paving the way to abolish slavery. But there are those who have been reincarnated to bring slavery back around.
Exactly.
Okay? And so they've just repackaged it. They put it in this nice little box, and it's and they call it immigration. They call it refugees. Have you ever seen the guy do the bubble gum thing? We're not making a difference by bringing the refugees. You can bring all your tears that you want, okay?
Right.
You have to help the people in their countries.
It's not
that
even
they're at.
a drop in the hat.
Exactly. The idea is the slave labor, because if you've watched the video on how Muslims are proliferating and having more babies, especially y'all in Europe, you ain't have enough babies to keep your population going.
All of our European, anybody outside of the United States, watchers, viewers right now, just tonight go make a baby. Y'all people need to be having babies. I am telling you, Leah and I are not married. We cannot have children right now. You can start praying for that because we'd love to be married and have children. But we're not there. Y'all people that are married, I guess I should have quantified that. Those people that are married, go make a baby
Even
tonight.
in Russia,
make it
encouraging. The population.
And if you're motivated by pizza, I'll order you a pizza if you make a baby tonight.
Russia has been telling people they'll buy them refrigerators and cars and stuff to have more children.
Yes.
So anyways,
fight against this.
Their answer for the fact that they don't have people to wipe their tushies when they're old is to bring in all these immigrants to do their small, low slave jobs.
You see the nostrils flaring? I get so angry.
And so that is literally one world government's solution to farming. They want to make everything mechanicalized, and where there's no mechanics, they want the brown people in to do the work, or
We covered this in another video, and if you guys did not watch the lumber 84 lumber commercial that we covered, go and watch that after this one. We'll probably put a link at the end of it.
So it's a whole one world government thing. So with this Ted Malloch, he's made it clear that he is not a friend of the EU. And people are upset about it. Malloch says Trump won't cow down to the powers that be. He'll speak his mind, even if it gets him in trouble or held in disregard with others. It used to be called honesty, but into the age of baby talk and political correctness, mostly cow poop, it's now regarded as dishonesty. And if you have a clip of that, send it to me, because I would love to watch him say that. I can't find it. So the EU leaders and the media supporters have seen this coming since November. I spelled it out in The Guardian, very left-leaning article, newspaper, or whatever. In European eyes, figures like Malloch and Steve Bannon, Trump's chief strategist, do not really want to end the U.S. leadership role in Europe. They want, in the view of the European Council President Donald Tusk, who we just saw, to destroy the EU and our intent in doing so. This is not a policy of non-interference. The policy is to help oversee the breakup of the EU using the bully pulpit of the presidency and the Brett Park website to do all they can to cheer on the populist forces across Europe. Victories for nationalist parties in the Netherlands, France, and Germany and Italy this year would ensure the EU's implosion. Listen.
I love that word, implosion.
From here, what I see is there is a European Union, and you're not, the laws that are being created and implemented aren't voted upon.
Right.
You have this unelected head hierarchy and people who pull people's strings.
Right.
And they're the ones who let in all these refugees. And if one murder happened because you let in these refugees,
you are culpable.
On your head. But it's not just one murder. It's several murders. It's bombings. It's raping. It's the idea that you wanted to bring in slaves and you weren't thinking beyond your own lust and greed. Okay? You saw a problem, and instead of saying, hey, you guys, guess what? Have some babies, have some children. We need to kind of keep our population level. You know, we're kind of, since birth control and abortion, we're not sustaining our growth, and it's going to start to dip, into non-existence. So instead, they're like, I got this great idea. We're going to bring in all these refugees. But it doesn't really make sense because, like, Marie Le Pen in her speech, and if you have a translation of that, of her candidacy, she explained her candidacy last night or Sunday. We would like to have it. Sunday she did, and it was so powerful from what I was reading, but I'd love to hear, like, an audio translation of that. So anyways, that's the difference between Nigel Farage and Marie Le Pen. At least we know what he's saying. Right. Man, if I had just taken French. I took Spanish. I can't even understand that. So anyways, Malloch he's definitely a wild card. Trump team is like kind of picking wild cards, like way from everywhere, and he's putting him on this
have to go back
Captain America type.
We don't have Captain America team. They're the Avengers,
like the Avengers or something. It's quite hilarious to watch right here. I don't know where it's gonna go. Honestly, it's like when you put that rocket on Iron Man. You don't know what's gonna happen with Iron Man. Okay, we just really don't know what's going on. We're just unpredictable. Well, it's really fun to watch.
So there you go, Leah, equating Trump's picks and cabinets and things like that to the Avengers. You only get that here at Resistance Chicks.
They best describe Molloch as a maverick, supporting various efforts but not buying into the ideology. He calls himself a Sherpa on the executive board of the World Economic Forum. That just sounds like evil at death to me. Which hosts the Davos meeting of elites in Switzerland every year. My mom wanted to point that out. These Davoses are guys they just don't have anything else to do but just tell everybody else what to do. Okay? He has held an ambassador position in the UN. He headed up the consulting division of the Wharton Chase metrics. He worked at the international banking from Salome Brothers. He served in the senior policy positions with the U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, as well as the State Department. He is a research professor at Yale. He's even expressed support for the EU in the past, but usually with a qualifying disclaimer. The EU is a very important arrangement that was largely brought about by American contributions.
Hang on, pause right there. He just called a spade, and you guys need to understand that you would think, oh, well, just let the European Union be the European Union, but there are powers that be that really came together because of the one world government that we keep talking about, and the vastly American shareholders and
we
under
live
the
in
table
America,
dealings.
but America has done some really bad things.
We keep trying to control everybody else, and so we put this European Union together, right, under the table so that nobody knows that we're doing it, so that we can control them as a group. And I say we, it's the evil people, it's not us, all right? But you need to understand that there are evil people in the United States that are doing
He says,
this.
I do believe it has more and more become a supranational organization with political ambitions that probably don't fit with all of its member states' ambitions. When you see like Greece, and they were stuck with the euro, and they kind of imploded, and there was nothing they could do about it to stop it. Because here in America,
we can just keep printing more dollars.
Print it. But if you're in like in the euro, and you're not at the printing press of the euro, then you can't do that. And it's just, it's mind-boggling.
It's like everybody at the table has a limitless credit card, and Greece doesn't. And that's exactly what happened. They didn't have anywhere they could go from there.
Right. We want to bring you more on the Ted Malloch, on Nigel Farage, Marie Le Pen.
Because these are pretty key players that are taking the world stage.
Exactly, and I'm sure we will see more from them later. So just pray. I want to bring you guys the kind of our take on the Economist magazine. I guess it's a English magazine. And they kind of were predicting with like tarot cards.
Didn't we do that, an episode on that?
No, we did not. Actually, my mom wrote a blog on it.
We
And
didn't
put
do
it
the
together,
blog?
but we did not do it yet.
Oh.
I'm kind of
We went
excited,
over it
but
extensively. I thought it was on film.
I think I told you one of the tarot cards they have is they have Merkel going down.
And they're like a circle. It's really creepy.
Should show you. I just
where Marie Le Pen is coming up, and so it's like these spinning bodies. It's really so. Essentially, if she's going to go there, I'll just explain it to you. The Economist magazine came up with this weird tarot card prediction of what's going to happen in 2017, and there's a lot of people that are coming out interpreting it with their own interpretation, and we kind of have our own interpretation of it.
Okay, so
this specific card,
you can Google it
right here. It's called the Wheel of Fortune. So
this is Gert right here. No, I don't want to subscribe right now, even if it's free. This is Gert coming up a little bit. This is Marie Le Pen. This is Merkel coming down. It's got this storm over here on Merkel's side. Marie Le Pen. So you have these ballot boxes down here. So it's this really weird, creepy. It's in tarot card form, and listen, these guys, they do operate in the occult, and I think this was a teaser. Like, we know what's happening. There are people who know what's happening.
There's so much symbolism that is put in these cards that is not made up.
Right.
Like, it's real symbolism that you can easily identify if you know just a little bit about it. So
I'll just bring up the blog and we'll just do it. Okay?
Okay. All right. We'll do that in a little bit. All right. This is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment. We love hearing from you guys, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks, and find us on Facebook where you can interact with us there.